So I made a split point fixture out of a bunch of scrap aluminum that I had, and I'll show you how it works. I've been working on it for probably a couple of months. I'm using ER32 collets and a square block collet holder, and I have a 5/16 collet in there now for that bit I just sharpened. The reason I went with the ER32 collets is because I already had a set, and the ones that I put the black dot on are the ones that match my drill bits. And I haven't tried to do a split point on anything less than 3/16 and more than a 1/2 inch. And the other reason I'm using collets is because it doesn't matter what size drill bit you use, the center is always the same, so you don't have to change any of the settings. So the first thing I do is put the collet into the alignment fixture, push it all the way forward. And before I tighten the collet down on the drill bit, I push the drill bit forward until it stops on the alignment pin. Next, I make sure the drill bit cutting edge is resting against the stop on the guide pin. And the way I came up with a setting is I took a drill bit that already had a split point and put it in the collet and moved it over to the grinder side and pushed it up against the grinding wheel to where the split point matched the wheel, and then I moved it back over to the fixture side and set the pin to match. Now I can tighten the collet down on the drill bit and then move it back over to the alignment pin to make sure it didn't move. I made sure the collet block was pushed all the way back against the stop. I'll go over some of the adjustments. The reason I have to put this release on this thing is because once you put the drill bit in and put it up against this fixture to align everything, you can't get it out. So I had to put this part in to bring it back enough so you could lift it out. And this adjustment is whenever you wear down the stone or when you dress it, you have to be able to adjust the fixture up a little bit to compensate for it, so that's what this is for. And then here is just the clamp to clamp it in. I had to figure out a way. I didn't want any backlash, so I had to do left and right hand threads here, here, and here. And I used fine threads, so there's minimal backlash when you're moving it back and forth. And this is the stop adjustment for the center of the drill bit. These are all the individual parts that I had to make. And I have some video on making some of it, but there was so much trial and error and it took so long to make it, I didn't videotape everything. The hardest part was getting this lined up. You can see I had like a whole bunch of different holes I had to drill to get it set right. And making the tool rest was pretty hard too, getting that just right. As I'm reassembling the fixture, I'll edit in some of the video that I took making the components. I used the DRO to find the exact center of the part I had to drill. On this part I used a 3/8 24 right hand tap. On this part I used a 3/8 24 left hand tap. I had to order this one from McMaster-Carr. I used the lathe to cut 3/8 24 right hand threads. Now I have to reverse the lead screw on the lathe to cut left hand threads, 3/8 24. I have to thread the end of the lead screw to accommodate a knob, and I used copper wire in the chuck so I don't damage the threads on the lead screw. Here I'm using the tailstock on the lathe to make sure that the threading die is perfectly centered on the shaft. I need to make a knob for my adjustment to make it easier to move back and forth. So I think I'm going to make 4 knobs because I made a shooting rest, and for long distance that little bit of movement makes a big difference. So I'm going to make the knobs to fit on here to lock these down. I'm going to put a set screw in the knob so it doesn't come off. So I'm going to use a number 632 set screw. And for a 632 tap, it says to use a 0.107 thousandths drill bit. So I go to the other side, and the closest I can get to 0.107 is 0.109, which is a 7/64 drill bit. I'm going to use the DRO to find the exact center of the y-axis. To find the center of the x-axis, I'm just going to use the pointer. Since I don't need the hole to be threaded all the way through, I'm going to go a couple of sizes up with a drill bit and go about halfway down. I use the DRO and set it for about 1/4 inch. I don't ever plan on taking this knob off of here, so I'm just going to use some red Loctite plus the set screw. Something I forgot about, I can't put this back on there with the handle on it. This has got to go on first. The Loctite will still be good. Here I'm making the alignment pin for the drill bit on the fixture. The collet block fits too low in the vise for my vise jaw stop, so I had to use a parallel and then put the stop in. That way I can take the block out and put it back in, and it'll be exactly the same place to cut the other side of the pin. Here I'm going to use that 5/16 drill bit that I demonstrated, making the split point, to see if it'll drill with just a center punch. I'm pretty happy with the outcome, and I enjoyed making it, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.